thinks money and the economy are too complicated for them to understand, or has accepted the furry end of the lollipop stick handed to them by the powers that be. Inflation. What they would have us believe is to blame for the cost of living crisis, which is really a cost of lockdown crisis, is caused always and only by government working hand in glove with the banks to make themselves rich and everyone else poor. Inflation is caused always and only by the printing of money. Quantitative easing, as they have called it most recently, although dodgy types alighted on the tactic thousands of years ago to keep their subjects poor, is a transparent attempt to disguise a Ponzi scheme, the Ponzi scheme being modern currencies, which is the conjuring into existence of money from nothing, which only banks are allowed to do. Every time they magic up more money, put more of the currency into circulation in whatever form, what they actually do, in fact, all they do, is devalue any money you had in your pocket or in savings. This is deliberate. This is why excess money is created in the first place. Just as a for instance, since the creation of the so-called Federal Reserve in the United States in 1913, which is not federal, being a private company run for profit by secretive bankers and holds a reserve of precisely nothing, the actual value of the dollar has fallen by at least 90, if not actually 98%. Inflation is the invisible tax. I'll say that again for emphasis. The invisible tax almost everyone has been tricked into not seeing.
Now, to a certain degree, oh, sweet reverb. To a certain degree, us knowing that, I mean, that's just preaching to the choir. Obviously, we all know that. It's one of the foundations of what led us here. It still blows my mind that that's an uncommon knowledge. And to a certain degree, I guess the ignorance could be bliss. But then at that point, you're just covered in mountains of ignorance, I suppose, if you have no idea that that's going on. But to a certain degree, most people, you know, they don't need to know. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it's sad, really. Not only do they not need to know, maybe they never will. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe they never will. You know, my parents, for the majority of their adult life, no clue. I maybe hazard to guess that maybe they still don't. The mom probably, because I orange pillar on a daily basis, one might say. Now, 16 years ago today, I thought we would do some fun facts on seeing as though the price hasn't moved, even though 12,000 Bitcoin were bought. OTC though, right? What most people, including myself, always get frustrated when you hear these big buys and then the price doesn't move. If it, in fact, it goes down because it's on the over-the-counter desk, right, where they're swinging deals. Hey, you got 12K, you got 12,000 Bitcoin? Yeah, I got 12,000 Bitcoin for you. Just let me do some calls. And that way God forbid it spikes the price. Can't have that. We need poor retail to ape in here and spike the price. Once all the big fish and whales have got their due diligence and their safe amount of Bitcoin, 12,000. That's just adding to, I guess he's got 250,000 Bitcoin. Quite amazing. This is coming from the Bitcoin historian, Pete Rizzo. Number one, the Bitcoin white paper is 2,736 words long, shorter than the Magna Carta, which was 3,500 words, and the U.S. Constitution, which is 4,543 words. I didn't know that. It's half the size of the average academic paper, which is typically 4,000 to 10,000 words. Number two, the word Bitcoin only appears twice in the paper. It's widely believed Satoshi named Bitcoin late in the process, and there's evidence he may have wanted to call it electronic cash or Netcoin. Netcoin. Yeah. Number 3, the white paper doesn't include the words blockchain or cryptocurrency at all. Rather, Satoshi calls a blockchain a timestamp server. An earlier version of the paper calls it time change. Number 4, the most common word in the paper is block, which is used 48 times. Blocks are batches of transactions that have been timestamped on the blockchain and approved as valid by the Bitcoin network. Number 5, the white paper includes 3 mathematical equations. Now, I've taken a look at these mathematical equations, and it just proves to me I don't even know what I don't even know. The white paper includes 3 mathematical equations. These show the probability that an attacker with 10% of the network hash power or 30% of the hash power could disrupt Bitcoin. Here he estimates their odds of success and shows the network is secure. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen those math equations in the white paper. I think you have to be the guy from Good Will Hunting to figure it out. And that's a level of math I didn't even know existed, let alone people can do it or come up with it. Number 6, Satoshi wrote the code for Bitcoin before he wrote the white paper. Makes sense. In later posts, he'd mentioned he had been working on the code for 2 years by the time the white paper was finally released. So that would be 18 years. So we're coming up on 2 decades of the concept of Bitcoin being around in humanity. In later posts, he mentioned he'd been working on the code for 2 years by the time the white paper was finally released. And this is an email that he sent to, where did he send it to? I don't know. I appreciate your questions. I actually did this kind of backwards. I had to write all the code before I could convince myself that I could solve every problem. Then I wrote the paper. I think I will be able to release the code sooner than I could write a detailed spec. You're already right about most of your assumptions where you filled in the blanks. Signed, Satoshi Nakamoto. It's amazing that humans can come up with that code. You know, like there's levels of intelligence when it comes to certain jobs. And when I think of the programmers for software, like DaVinci, the one that I edit with, or Ableton, the one that I record the music with, to me, the problem solving going on in there and the levels of problem solving, if this then that, because there's still glitches, right? There's still what are the bugs in the software and every now and then. But before there's any bugs, they have to kind of troubleshoot where the bugs are, and just the fact that they can come up with all that stuff without somehow going into a dead end and having the software being too buggy is unbelievable to me. I've never really met a computer, like a software programmer. I would imagine they're mega nerds though. 7, the Bitcoin, nothing wrong with mega nerds. The Bitcoin white paper includes 8 citations. These included attempted digital cash projects like B-Money by Wideye and Hashcash by Adam Beck. Beck is the only person mentioned in the paper who still contributes to this day. I wonder how old Adam Beck is. Anyone in the chat know how old Adam Beck is? Beck or Beck? Beck? Number 8, the Bitcoin white paper specifies that CPU power is used to generate blocks. That's not quite correct anymore. Today, specialized computers called ASICs provide most of the computational power for the network. And that's another thing, you know, sometimes he's 54, backup kid, thank you. Really? He's 54? Adam Beck is 54? Crazy. Looks like he's 64, but I'm delusional. Usually when I'm having conversations with Normie, they try to play Bitcoin bumper stumpers with me, and they try to ask me questions that I don't know. And there's, like I said before, I don't know what I don't even know when it comes to Bitcoin. And there's like I usually try to use the iPhone. It's like I know how to move things around. I know how to use this phone. I don't know how the phone works. And I don't need to know exactly how the phone works to use the phone. However, they always try to get me with the, what the hell is mining? And then I start I feel like I'm talking about Israel and Palestine, you know, like there's facts and figures and at the end of the day, it's just still scratching my head. So it's one of those things. Number 9, the exact date and time of the first release of the Bitcoin white paper was Friday, October 31st, 2008 at 2:10. Some speculate the date was chosen for its association with themes of death and renewal. Do some speculate that? I think that one's a little bit of a reach. Numero 10, the 21 million limit on the number of Bitcoin is not mentioned at all in the white paper. Interesting. Most believe this was one of the last parts of the protocol that Satoshi determined. It wasn't announced until January 2009, and this was his email. Total circulation will be 21 million coins. It'll be distributed to network nodes when they make blocks, with the amount cut in half every 4 years. First 4 years, 10,500,000 coins. Next 4 years, 5,250,000 coins, and so on and so on and so on and so on. When that runs out, the system can support transaction fees if needed. Number 11, far from unnoticed. The Bitcoin white paper generated a lot of commentary on release. In fact, there was so much debate, moderators of the cryptography mailing list intervened. Here comes the nerds. They told Satoshi and Hal Finney to start a separate mailing list, which they did. They got mad. Too much traffic. Went from 6 people to 12. It was crazy. Number 12. Satoshi wouldn't receive his first public comment until 3 days after the white paper's release, though. This is interesting because can you imagine coming up with this, doing the math, the program itself, right? Like the whatever the hell it's called, the math equations, putting it out there. Like maybe he didn't actually understand how important it was, but let's say he did. Imagine this is classic human. Put it out there. Oh my God, there it is. There it is, everyone. 3 days. Nothing. The first commentator was James A. Donald, who's still alive today. His comment, I don't think it's going to work. Unfortunately, James A. Donald will go down in history as the first person to comment on the white paper, and his comment was he didn't think it would work. Unbelievable. Let's see what he says here. We very, very much need such a system, but the way I understand your proposal doesn't seem to scale to the required size. Number 13. Bitcoin's first user, Hal Finney, wouldn't respond to the white paper for a week. That said, he was the first to publicly support Satoshi. He defended the concept and called his use of proof of work very promising idea. Good old Hal Finney. Number 14. Following legal attacks, the Bitcoin white paper is now hosted by websites around the world. These include those owned by the U.S. government and the city of Miami, and major public companies like Block and MicroStrategy. Number 15, certain sections of the Bitcoin white paper no longer being worked on by developers. In the paper, Satoshi makes the first scaling proposal called simple payment verification. It has since been abandoned as a viable solution. So it was called simple payment verification, now abandoned. And finally, number 16. Yes, Terry Crow. Those are 2 new emojis. W for the Wix and M for Misco. Both, as luck would have it, not in the stream today. Oh no, there's Wix. Yeah, Wix. That's been up there for a while. I don't know why it's taken so long. Number 16. The first website to host the Bitcoin white paper still hosts the document, bitcoin.org. It is now available in 40 languages, including, do you remember, it was an interesting one when Apple, they found the white paper like hidden on MacBooks. Remember that just kind of came and went. It was like, whoa, what's that? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Nothing at all. Yeah. Well, the price didn't move. We said yesterday on the video that we'd probably have a breather day. And we sure did. Look at this tight little range here. Whew. Let's see how tight she was. Well, we went down. We said we'd go down to the 23.6% fib because it was right in the tailwindy and loving arms of the 20 moving average. Ain't that the truth? Look at that. Let's see here. 2%. 2% channel all day long. Up and down, back and forth. Boom, boom, boom. And will we test it again? Yeah, well, just like, remember the cruise ship analogy, because I worked on a cruise ship 6 months of my life once. Never goes too far off the coast, except for when it crosses international waters, like it goes from the Caribbean to the Mediterranean, or sometimes it'll run its course and head back to Barbados, and then that'll be an overnight trip. But generally, it stays close to the coast. It stays close to the coast, so you can see here, price will explode and then come back to the coast. 20 moving average, you can look at it. This is on the 4 hours, noisy little so-and-so. So it's normal for it to touch base, get some gas, get some food, load up, dump the garbage. Nobody likes to really talk about how much garbage that these cruise ships, the cruise ships dump into the ocean. It's quite a spectacle. They try to do it at night too. I'll have you know, I've seen it because what would happen is I was a casino dealer on the cruise ship, and so the casino was de facto open 24 hours, even though it wasn't. It would close around 1. It was kind of like a blue-haired, not blue-haired like woke, blue-haired like older people from Britain and Scandinavia. Bad tippers, really bad tippers, and so they go to bed. 1 o'clock. That's late. Well, it's late for me, for Christ's sake. And but I was allowed to be on the crew anywhere I wanted. It was one of the perks of being a casino dealer because you're legally working the whole time, even though we weren't. So I would go down to the staff deck, which is the lowest of the decks. Then all of a sudden, what the hell is that? There it is, dumping the garbage. And then I thought, I shouldn't be seeing this probably. I don't want to be the one that's, 20 years later on some YouTube channel telling everyone that cruise ships dump their garbage, which they do. We just lost 72. Over on the Ding Dong, the daily chart, let's see, so is there any anomalies with we got higher highs? Still a higher high. RSI slightly bearish, but this could be. It's not the reversal. It's more of the hidden divergence, and maybe this is just clearing it out after 4 days in a row. 4 days of green candles in a row on the daily. It's not that normal, actually. I just don't want to ruin this beautiful little thing here. Beautiful chart here. Beautiful chart. We go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That was coming out of September. Wow. September, the worst actual month of the year for Bitcoin. 1, 2, 3. You can see four green candles in a row is not that common on the daily. So to get that, the 5th and 6th of this week, Terry Curl says, pianomattyb knows too much about cruise ships. Man, I've forgotten all the weird stuff I know about cruise ships. Believe me, it's weird, cruise ships, because I won't get into it too deep because I know once the TA starts, no, it's like, hey, I don't care about the cruise ship, but they only hire serving staff that are anything but North American. So let's just call it Filipino, Jamaican, and Eastern Bloc European would be the serving staff for one reason. Now, this was 25 years ago, so maybe things are changed, but the reason why they wouldn't is that no first worlder, no North American bartender or server would work 18 hours a day for 9 months. Because when you're on the cruise ship, there's no days off. Most people don't know that. There's no days off. You're not there to have a day off, is what they'd say. You're not here for a day off. You're here to work. And work they do 18 hours a day for 6 to 9 to 12 months. And so that's why they would never hire a first world North American servers, because they just wouldn't do it. You would quit. Even the cruise ship, we would do some double shifts. That was the worst day. They were called sea days. So when we were coming back from, let's say, St. Lucia to what was our home? Antigua? I can't remember. It was a night, right? So a day and a night. So in the day we would have a double shift, and we thought that was horrible. 2 shifts. It was long, but it really. I have nightmares sometimes where I'm on the ship again and I'm phoning my family saying, "Why the hell did you let me go back on this cruise ship again? I told you I hated it." I actually went with a girlfriend at the time, and it made it a lot easier. I don't think I could have done it just on my own. There's a little bit of misery loves company, because we were both like a little bit of shell shocked. It's like going to a big mall, like entering a mall, and then when you look back, the door's shut. You can't get off, and the mall sails away till 8 some city, and you get off, and that's basically what it was. The food was horrible too. I have fun facts about the cruise ship. To go over on the weekly chart here, that's a nice healthy green candle. Did I get this beautiful chart here? Beautiful. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. You can see we did hit our goal, our weekly goal on Monday. What we said was my bullishly delusional outlook, a heartbreakingly bullish outlook on the week, was to get up to our old channel of resistance. This is an old line that goes back to the old bull run. And look how we still respect it. That's so fascinating about these charts, how we respect lines from like half a decade ago. This is from half a decade ago, this line. And probably more than that. Maybe a full decade. Not sure. But that's how much we respect these lines. And then if you look down here, I mean, this is a line that I put in 4 years ago. It's from the old bull run. And it's still, look at this, ting, 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 ting. And this is the new bull run, right? And this is why that's fascinating part about the market memory, how it just gets respected. And this line here will be respected the whole time. So if let's extend this out here, we will probably respect this line, come bounce off it. And this line is the cup and handle one from this mega bear market. So we'll probably do this. Oh, you can't see it. Pianomattyb. You got to make that. See, I'm trapped within this green and red fire smoke thing to make the chart look beautiful. Without it, it's just an empty chart. So now I'm kind of stuck into it. But more importantly, over on the old monthly chart here, this is the end of October. Wasn't the greatest October, or was it? Let's check it out. Open to close. Well, as it stands now, let's just call it 14%. 14%. Was there another 14%er? This one was 12%. And then, is this February? This is March. March was 16%. Let's call it 17%. So if we can get 3% more, and where would 3%, why would I have to close today 3% higher than this? Would be at 74.2. Yeah, so that would be new all-time highs. 74.2 would put us at an equal monthly pump as February. But it gets more interesting than that, because before February, that was March. But I'm considering this our bull flag. Leading up to the bull flag, we had this in February. Look at this. Holy smokes. It's hard to believe. That's a 43% pump in February. 43% candle in February. Unbelievable. That's, we're here. We might as well see we're 43% 3% will take us. 43% from here. 102K. Holy smokes. Who's this? Whoa. Who's this, Duke?
Hi.
What's your impersonation?
Hi guys, I'm gonna make America great again. With Bitcoin, I like Bitcoin.
Like Bitcoin, it's amazing. Bitcoin. You were driving a garbage truck yesterday. Is that what was going on? Were you driving a garbage truck yesterday? Yeah, you were. Anyway. Okay. Well, as Donald Trump, what are we going to sing? Got to be a talented little kid to play piano and sing this early in the morning, right? Maybe the most talented kid we've seen on YouTube in a long time, right? Right, Duck?
Yeah.
He likes Bitcoin, Terry Crow. I mean, Bitcoin is, I might say, the national treasury. Okay, what are we going to play? No. What are we going to play? How about FOMO at the top? Oh, no, wait a second. We played it the other day. What haven't we played in a long time? Let's do Loneliest Lamborghini. I mean, you might be lonely with a Lamborghini, but you'll have lots of money. Very expensive, these Lamborghinis. Come on, let's go. Okay, feels like the bottom.
It feels like the bottom. It feels like something's about to change. It feels like the bottom. I mean, this the most grooviest way. It feels like the walls are crashing down on me. Like everything is falling apart. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Hard to make sense of things.
I just wanna go back to the days where it felt like it would never end. It would all just stay together. It would all go on forever. I wake up and you're gone. Did I hold on too long? Tell me, where did I go wrong? It feels like the bottom. It feels like something's about to change. Change feels like the bottom. I mean this the most grooviest way. Tell me that's over. Tell me that's done. Tell me everything I thought was wrong. Now everything I had is gone. It feels like the bottom. It feels like something's about to change. It feels like the bottom. I mean this with the most grooviest way. It feels like the bottom. It feels like something's about to change. It feels like the bottom. I mean this in the most grooviest way.
Oh, nice. You got it. They got that little spread on the old the thingies there. Amazing job as always. Got to be pretty talented to play the piano on YouTube and not make any mistakes ever. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Make sure you like and subscribe.